Nation. Welcome back to Empower Her Money podcast. I am your host, Angela Duncan. I am a money coach. And today's episode, I am super excited to bring to you Brooke. We're going to learn more about her journey and what is she doing today, as well as giving you some business and finance tips. We love adding value to our community and empowering female entrepreneurs. Welcome, Brooke. How are you today?
I'm fabulous, Angela. It's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Same. So tell us a little bit about your journey and kind of how you've gotten to where you are today.
Yes, ma'am. My journey started during COVID, surprisingly. I had a sales and marketing internship with Grant Cardone. I was a fiber area manager. I was inputting fiber into office buildings for AT&T, and nobody's in the office buildings, right? And Grant, at the end of our 12-month term, said, hey, y'all, I know you guys know me as a sales and marketing guru, but I really got my success from real estate. I'm having my first real estate summit, July, I believe this was 2021. I'm going to give you a free VIP ticket, show up. So needless to say, I showed up, I went alone, I learned a lot. And when they offered a mentorship, which originally was only approximately 40 of us, I liquidated everything. And because I had left AT&T, I had a lot of money from my 401k, because I know this is big. A lot of people advise, dang, all of these events cost so much money. How do you afford to be in multiple masterminds? And in full transparency, I had left AT&T and I had a lot of money in the bank that I originally was going to put into 401k, into my current corporate role. But after that summit, I was all in, and I started as a passive investor, investing in 676 units. And I used the rest of the money to fund my journey. And the rest is history. And then I kind of took off running. I'm not sure how far you want me to go, or if there's any interim questions in between.
Yeah, I love that. So don't be afraid of the change, right? It's kind of where you were at, and investing in yourself. You could have put money in the stock market or some other avenues, but you chose to invest in yourself through the mastermind. So talk a little bit about that journey and kind of where you found value in that investment too.
I am somebody who is always a lifelong learner, and I always like to surround myself with people that are further along than me. If I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong room. So that being said, learning from somebody at Grant Cardone's level, who is a billionaire, to drop the 25,000, and that's what the cost is. So many people kind of sugarcoat stuff. It was 25K, y'all. And for me, I know what I am capable of. I am relentless when I want something. And that process, what it looked like is Grant is a phenomenal cheerleader. Okay. He gives you the confidence and kind of kicks your ass into gear, like no excuses, no bullshit, which I relate to because our family is military. I grew up with that kind of mentality. And I joke around with people like I swear I was a Latino man in a previous life, because I'm just like, let's go, just whatever. Right. So I'm very coachable. And when he said, hey, you guys need to do this, I started taking everything to heart. And because of his coaching and his confidence in me, my first deal that I was able to almost tackle was 316 units. It was $131 million. I was able to raise 36 million within about 72 hours. And wow. out of 17 people, I got invested final, top 2 people. However, I lost, I want to say Tuesday investments. They wired hard money. My understanding was on their best and final call. So I lost out. And I had the pleasure of going up against Grant on a mutual property on the Hayworth, which we both lost anyways. And the club got to see, the real estate club is what it's called, the fun banter back and forth. And however, after that mentorship, there were some things that I was missing. Grant, I love Grant. He literally gave me the jacket off his back in person at a summit, and he will always have a soft spot for me in my heart. However, Grant's phenomenal at getting the deal, underwriting, and all of that confidence. But I'm like, okay, well, what happened? I couldn't get past due diligence, and I couldn't understand why. However, I know now, one, I hadn't gone full cycle, first of all. Two, I didn't have investors for people to interview to show I could execute a business plan. And three, I didn't have the liquidity in the bank to avoid a capital call, which is my top three hurdles, being somebody new in the game. That being said, I heard of Michael Blanc coaching a college kid who decided not to go to college, found him on Instagram, read his famous yellow book, Financial Freedom and Real Estate, listened to the book on Audible, loved his vibe, and he really filled in some of the missing gaps. What is happening on the day to day? What is the due diligence? What about property management? What should I look for? How do I vet a team? All of the things that come other than getting and being awarded a deal. And because his vibe was so cool and I connected to him through Audible, I signed up for his Deal Maker Mastermind. And you guys, you don't have to drop a lot of money. I've gotten so much value from Michael Blanc, and he has multiple programs. However, I signed up for the $99 a month one. I always, yeah. And I always tell people I'm a baller on a budget, y'all. Like, I'm blessed to have a corporate job, that pays well and I live off the base, but all of my commissions go to my investment. So I'll kind of pause. I want to make sure I did, because sometimes I kind of go off squirrel.
Yeah. So, yeah. So for the listeners, people who obviously have access to some money could pay $25,000 to be in a room with other real estate investors through the Grant Cardone Real Estate Club. But also to the listeners that may not have that much money, you went with a program that was $99 a month. Everybody can find a side hustle that they can make $100 a month, or they can cut out some expense. So if they want to become a real estate investor and build that generational wealth, $99 is so, it's achievable. Someone can, there's no excuse for that. $100, you can find $100. So I love that, going from one spectrum to the other, but you're still investing in yourself, which is also what I always say, like your number one investment is in you first. But not just education, but you got to implement, right? So talk a little bit too. I love that you had this huge fundraising, to some people have never done it before. Like I've never raised that much money. Talk about like your mindset and kind of how you approach that so that you did realize and achieve that goal.
I come from 22 years of sales, marketing, and negotiations, okay, in the corporate world. From my perspective, this is just, everybody's a salesperson, whether you're selling your husband where to go for dinner or your kids to clean their room, so for me, this was just a different product. And when I started 75 Tresser, which was the property, pitching, I'm like, okay. And I'm always in confidence in myself to execute. So what I did to do this is, because of the masterminds and all the groups that I was a part of, I had already a very decent sized network. I used the Big View platform, and which is a teleprompter service. And I consolidated a short 1-minute video, give or take, and I personalized it because it was approximately 11 people that each one of them got this is a lot of work, y'all. So bear with me, 11 people. And I would start, hi, this is Brooke Ceballos-Piñero. Hi, Jonathan. How are you doing today? How's Martha? Congratulations on the wedding for Tiffany. And I had it already written and kind of prepared. And the teleprompter would prompt me if I had to look over it, right? I wanted to let you know that I just got back from, and every property I've ever invested in, and been a GP on, I have toured and walked and negotiated it. I've been a part of it, right? Very important. You got to be able to see it in person. Because it'll come through your energy, y'all. I go, if I haven't seen it and touched it and talked to the tenants and got a vibe, I'm going to struggle with getting people excited, because if I'm not excited about it, it's going to show, and I'm not even going to work with you. I will never sell or pitch a product I have not personally used myself or done myself or walked myself. So we'll put that out there. That being said, the short video, this is what I liked. This is what I didn't like. This is our plan to provide value. We're going to create a podcast room. We are going to, do a dog event, you get it. So the first 30 seconds was personalized to each person. Then in an email, they had a Google Drive link that had the pictures and the videos and little snippets of me actually touring the property. And in the body was bullet points. This is what I need. This is what's in it for you. Here is our link to invest. Here is my link to set up a question or a call, right? So when you guys send out emails or communications, which women are very guilty of this, we tend to be long-winded. And because that drives me nuts, I try to check myself on that too. So when you guys are doing a video or a short text message, whatnot, write it down. Use Grammarly. I love Grammarly. I use this in the corporate world as well as my communications to my investors. It helps you trim the fat, be less wordy. So needless to say, that 36 million was a combination of, I sent them each a video, that was to a text message to their phone, and then I double whammed with the email with the drive that had all of that information. It was a lot of work because that was 11 people personally, but it paid off. Even though I lost it in the end, I had fabulous relationships that I still talk to, I think 7 out of those 11 people. So yeah, I hope that helps.
Yeah, I love that very personal approach, because what we find is a lot of people do have money to invest, but until they know, like, and trust you, they're not going to trust you enough to hand over that money. So that's pretty powerful. I love the video combination with the email in a text format so they can look at it when they need to, but also providing them with the documents of the property with the photos so that they can feel that energy and they can fall in love with that property too, right?
Yes. And they see that I was there, and if you're part of the Grant ecosystem, Grant always says, show receipts, y'all. And I'm always that person. And I kind of have to scale back because I'm always feeling like I have to prove everything to everybody. So there's a fine balance on that. But it was a way for me, because there's so many people in the space. Everybody's an expert and everybody's trying to nickel and dime you everywhere you go. And so I have learned to try to feed my focus, starve my distractions, and lead with, what do I want? I want somebody who's going to be short, sweet, to the point, honest, transparent, clear, ethical, moral. I see myself in them. Maybe they are a wife or a health and fitness nut like me. Maybe they have kids. I have to collab because in full transparency, I will not GP with somebody that I have not dated. I have not broken bread. I have not known you for a while. So I feel that's the same way you guys should be. Be leery of those people who are doing cattle calls for GPs. And I know there's people in my network. Please don't get offended. I mean this in the best way possible.
It just doesn't work for you. That's not how you approach it. It could work for them. Yeah.
Yeah, but don't do a cattle call for it. I mean, you can do, if it's a closed group, do that, but vet these people, right? And make sure that your values are aligned. And I'm sure people have heard this, but this is a marriage, not a one-night stand. Get to know people.
Yep, it's a marathon. You're together for a long time.
Yes, make sure you like them. And this is your reputation. You need to be a financial fiduciary to your investors. Stop thinking about what's in it for you and what's in it for them. Multiple times I've had to pass over investors to other deals, and I'm okay with that. They'll come back to me when it's right.
Yep. And I'm curious to know, you say you referenced your corporate job. What do you do? Obviously balancing a lot. What else do you do in your world?
So in my world, I am an enterprise software as a service for global trade. What does that mean? So I work with clients that exceed 500 million in annual revenue, and I cover the West Coast. So I work with clients such as, Pratt & Whitney, Raytheon, Amazon, the big heavy names that you guys are fully aware of, to help them stay out of trouble with their imports and exports. So I have a software, and we collaborate and work together and integrate it into their current systems to keep them legally compliant.
Okay, awesome.
It's enterprise sales. It's a very heavy sales position. Yes.
Yeah, awesome. So I have a fun question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
If you were to pick a super talent or a superpower, what would it be and why?
I would have to, I'm juggling between two. However, the first one that really comes to mind is to be invisible. The reason for that is because there's so many rooms that I want to be in, and I want to hear what is going on behind closed walls. For that, because then I can utilize some of these heavy hitters, the Grant Cardones of the world, the Warren Buffetts of the world. I can take those verbiage and knowledge and utilize it to inspire others to take action, right? And if I'm in the room of some of the best people, they're not going to know I'm there, because it's hard to get into those kind of rooms. It's the pay to play game, but I can use what I've learned and share that across the world, especially with women in marginalized communities, which is my big focus.
Awesome. I love that. So it's creating an impact, right? Creating that legacy for people.
Yes. And that's what you have to look at when times get hard, because we are a mixed family. I have a demanding corporate job. We have two businesses. We have 4 kids between my husband and I. And I
Wow.
mean, Puerto Rican, Nicaraguan, Black, Basque, white, the whole 9 yards. We're mixed. And so that is what keeps me going when I'm stressed. And I just want to roll up in a corner. And we all have those days. Nobody really talks about it. I am a very positive person, but I'm real. And there's some days I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm
Yeah.
shutting everything down.
Yeah, I get that too. Sometimes I just need to cry as women. I feel
Yeah.
like I got to release that emotion so that I can come back to being positive and keep doing what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. So for audience wants to get in touch with you, Brooke, what's the best way to reach out to you?
I am the most active on Instagram, and that is Brooklyn0719. So that is BROOKLYNN0719. And I also have a link tree on there as well for other avenues.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I truly appreciate your time and your wisdom sharing back with our community today. That was another episode of Empower Her Money. So if you have found some great information, make sure you share this podcast. We are on a mission, changing lives, impacting women, and making sure that we have an incredible financial future and giving back to everybody. So thank you again, Brooke. I hope you have an amazing day, and tune in next week where we have another story for you. Thanks so much.